thank you so much for listening to another episode of CX Chronicles podcast. I'm your host, Adrian Brady Chisana. All right, guys, how are you doing? I'm Adrian Brady Chisana. I'm your host. Another episode of the CX Chronicles podcast. Super excited today, guys. We have an awesome guest. Jack Siney from FrontRace is joining us. Jack's got just a super cool background. He spent years working at all sorts of awesome companies, thinking about all sorts of different iterations of customer experience and user experience. So pumped to have Jack on the show today. Jack, say hello to the CX Nation, my friend.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it. We both have challenging last names, so we'll roll with that. It's our kindred spirit. We're bonded.
Hey, if people could get Siney and if people could get Chisana, we'd be in a much better place, man.
Amen. Thanks
so
for having
Jack,
me.
number one, I was pumped to have you on the show today, but why don't you start off today's episode as we start off all these episodes? Spend a couple minutes, number one, introducing yourself to the CX Nation and giving people a sense for who we are and what you guys are doing today over at FrontRace. But definitely spend a couple minutes, man, setting the stage. You've got some really, really cool backgrounds and experiences. And from our last couple conversations, man, I genuinely enjoyed kind of hearing some of the things that you've been doing, and then also just how you've seen the space evolve and how you've seen things kind of progress as we moved into the future. So go ahead and take the mic, my friend, and spend a few minutes
that's a lot.
introducing yourself.
That's a lot of stuff for people to stay tuned. I believe humbly the FrontRace will help you and your company deal with the AI challenge today. And everybody, every website, every person that's in the business world is like AI this and AI that. Even companies that are tech companies, right? We offer our solution to a broad set of companies. Everyone has AI on their website, even cooking companies, so it's super hard. It's super hard to figure out where should you put your, what eggs in what basket. And humbly for folks to stay tuned, I feel like FrontRace has really helped solve that puzzle in a way that gives you a lot of flexibility moving forward. So that's purposely our intent. Just quickly, my background, when I came out of college, I started my career as a civilian with the U.S. Navy. I was on the F-18 fighter jet program, which is, for those of you out there, the Blue Angels. So if you've seen the Blue Angels, those are all F-18s. So crazy. Who goes to school and figures that's where you're going to start your career?
Jack, we had the Blue Angels fly over Buffalo, New York last year, brother. It was freaking amazing, dude.
And when you have those fleet shows, and if you have the chance to go see those planes and sit in them, as part of my career, the opportunity to sit in one of those aircraft. Funny, quick side story. If you come as a guest and go out and say, I want to sit in a plane and maybe do a flight with them, the first thing the pilots will do, they'll take you up 90 degrees. 99.9% of the people will, it's a little gross, will throw up in their mask.
Absolutely.
The pilots all laugh, and then they continue the flight. Then you land, and everybody that does it, if you're the next one up, you see the person come off the plane with their eyes are like this. You know what I mean? It's like
they're debating if they want to do it still.
Right. You kind of want to do it, but you really don't. Right. So It's like a crazy, roller coaster ride that definitely. So those guys and ladies that fly those planes are enormously gifted individuals. And so started my career there. Obviously, U.S. Navy, huge organization. Went to PricewaterhouseCoopers as a consultant, kind of leveraged my time at the Navy, both huge organizations. And from that, I never wanted to work in a huge organization again. So for a variety of reasons, and that really started my entrepreneurial journey. And so my last 20 plus years have really been in entrepreneurial ventures. One, advanced public safety in the public safety space, putting technology in some of our largest law enforcement agencies around the country. Leveraged that into my last opportunity was GovSpend, which is we aggregated government purchase orders from agencies all across the country.
Very cool.
Amazing data set for companies to see what the government spends.
Like are we talking like War Dog stuff? Like the movie War Dogs?
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
You get to literally, because it's our taxpayer money, we literally have this database of, if you said the city of Buffalo, what's everything they bought, who they bought it from, and what they paid. So who's really interested in that are the vendors. Imagine a company like Dell would love to know, hey, what computers is the city of Buffalo buying? Is it iOS? Is it Windows? What's my opportunity there? Blah, blah, blah. How long ago did they buy? It's a really amazing data set. The challenge in that business was normalizing the data, which we'll talk about AI leverage. So we took a data set that we had at the end of that company, both those ventures, fortunate enough to have very good exits, both of them acquired, and folded that into what is now FrontRace. Some of the things we did at the end of GovSpend turned into FrontRace. And again, big part of AI is the data. What data are you analyzing? Is it normalized across your company? And so leverage, same team did advanced public safety, GovSpend, and the same team now with FrontRace. So we worked together for decades. And so that's really our goal. So FrontRace, a 30-second commercial, just is it really a layer we add onto a company's, whatever a company has today, system agnostic. You don't have to replace anything. And I think it provides what people want today, which is we connect the data and then start to make you look smart really quickly with some AI. And to be honest, some non-AI analytics, which is not very sexy today, but that's the reality. To get really the insights people want. Oh, there you go. People want, and literally you need both parts. And so that's what we do for companies today.
I love it, man. So wait, a couple of things. Number one, I just want to call out. First of all, thank you for sharing that. Jack, the same team piece. I want to jump on the same. You just said, Adrian, same team kind of went through all of these different experiences.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. I've had a few guests over the years of CXCP that said exactly what you just said, where they were blessed and fortunate to have the same group of guys and gals that saw it in one vertical or one sector. Then they sort of they took some wins and they took some learnings and some lessons from that. They applied it to another sector. Then they saw another set of winnings or another set of learnings. But then another, and I just love that, man, because I think number one, how cool to be able to almost like a band, brother. I'm a big music guy, like almost like taking the same band or the same group of guys and gals with their subject matter expertise and their perspective instruments. And being able to keep creating new albums, man, creating new albums or new songs or new tunes, super duper cool. And talk about the world that we're in right now, man. This couldn't be more front and center. You and I were joking about it the other day, where every company on planet Earth is going to need some type of help with this. And then here's the other thing. Depending upon what type of company you are, whether you're an SMB, whether you're a mid-market company, whether you're one of the biggest companies on planet Earth, those different groups or those different cliques of companies, they've got different. Number one, they got different levels of resources. They've got different levels of sophistication of the team. But yet, this is stuff that every one of us is going to need help with. The idea of normalizing information, aggregating data, normalizing it, being able to speak to it. So super, super cool space that y'all got into here.
Yeah, I want to say some contrarian viewpoints I have today, which is if you're on LinkedIn or Twitter, you think AI is revolutionizing every business in the country, right? And I just want to say, as somebody who lives it at a granular micro level every day across thousands of companies, on the tech side, it is. On the tech side, the programming and coding and the ability to create code and what they're doing, a lot of innovation. On the business side, listen, there is a long way to go. On our side, and the people are like, if you go to LinkedIn, you'd swear every company in the world is plugging in agents, getting rid of their sales reps and their SDRs, and off they go, and they're 10xing their revenue, and the company's just this efficiently driven. And I'll just say that is really not true at all. I think is AI amazing? Does it have a lot of capabilities? It does, but it also, even at its very best, it's an 80% solution. If you follow all the AI stuff, Deloitte & Touche, let's share, had their huge consulting firm release a report with a bunch of hallucinations in it. They had to pay back the client. It was really embarrassing because it starts to do some things that aren't actually real and live. And when you talk about analytics of your company and you're going to make corporate decisions by hiring and firing and strategy, you can't have a 20% miss rate in what it's giving you. And so that's really the hardcore part of how to do good analytics with AI is really challenging. And that's really what we endeavor to help companies with today.
I love it. And you're right. There's going to be certain immediate gains that you can get from all the incredible things that we're all playing with and seeing on the AI front. But every time, I feel like every call of the day, not even on this episode, but every call of the day, Jack, we keep hearing people say the same thing, which is still got to have humans selling. You still got to have humans being the human to human connection for making somebody excited enough or eager enough or interested enough to even consider it as a potential option. And the other thing too is last mile, man. I see across all sorts of different companies, customer journeys, last mile or being able to deliver that sale or deliver that product or that service, the last mile. You still need humans all over onboarding and the implementation and the kickoff of actually putting the stuff into motion.
So many, I always say right now, so if this offends you, I apologize if you're listening. So many people are using ChatGPT, Claude as like enhanced spell check. Let me buy emails in there. I'll put my verbiage for my marketing, and they're using it as this way to create ideas or create verbiage. And God bless. AI today is amazing for very analytical, one-to-one type analysis. It is amazing, can create great verbiage. But again, Larry Ellison, just this past week or so, said the magic and what AI is going to do is analyzing your own data, your company data. Whatever platform you desire, it's all using the same open data set that's available via the internet or open sources. And so, okay, pick a platform you like, but until you're able to take all the answers are in your data. All the answers are in your company data, especially if you have some historical data, if you have some size, you have a good data sample, it's there. Historically, we just haven't been able to analyze it the right way. And so that's the key. I would just add this, especially on the sales side, people know this and we like just numb to it. CRMs and that whole thing we've started with this tech stack is only about 40 years old. So let's say mid 1980s, 1990s, Salesforce started in 2000, right? We're no better. No better. You can go ChatGPT it, or we're no better today. Forecasting, goal, delivering on sales. It might be worse. It might be worse depending on how you. So great, we added all this tech, but we are almost no better at delivering results. And we have this tech stack that we never even had 40 years ago, which is shocking. It's shocking.
Look, I'm glad that you brought that up, because you know that's one of the biggest things that we talk about here at CXC, man, is like the world has, as great as all of this technology is, and as incredible as all of these different solutions can become, and then most importantly, as wild as certain teams of humans can then take that technology and make these incredible things happen from it. The world has, over the last 20 years, globally, companies spend $1.27 trillion a year on just their SaaS. The utilization, Jack, to your point, I didn't even have to beat this drum, but the utilization, some of the best companies on planet Earth only utilize 30 to 40% of their tech stack.
Yeah.
Now you enter AI into the mix, and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Number one, it's still ultimately all goes back to the data. It still ultimately will always go back to how is your data configured, how the way that you have configured your contacts within your CRM, the way that you've configured how companies display inside of your CRM or inside of your company database. That stuff is still the answers or the information or the validated data inside of those fields is still going to drive all of this stuff. So like, it's like, we're in this interesting world where like, we already got a software problem. Now you're going to enter AI, what people think they're going to do 10 times and 10, and maybe they are, but we're still in this period of like, whoa, maybe pump the brakes and see what do we have? What are the tools that we've amassed to this point? What are the ones that we're utilizing at the highest rates? What are the ones that the whole damn company understands how to lever and how to use? What are the tools that, nobody looked around for a minute, but we haven't used these things in 8 quarters. What? We've been paying a bill for 8. Or here's another thing, man, that we see a lot, Jack, in like at CXC with a lot of our clients. Many of our clients are, post Series A, and they're growing, they're emerging, they're tomorrow's leaders. What often happens here is, as leadership changes happen, specifically extended leadership, as different VPs or different senior directors come and go.
They come in with their own system.
You got it, brother. Those playbooks that those people have, oftentimes those playbooks are built around specific tools, whether if they're marketers, it's HubSpot. If they're salespeople, it's Salesforce. If they're support people, it's Zendesk. And what we often find times is that like implementation, training, and actual team utilization or support management was never really put into place. So it's going to be an interesting time, man, because there's so much opportunity out there for all of these different businesses to really kind of hit pause, audit themselves, assess themselves, understand how they're performing across different key parts of the business, and really begin to think about how that is going to impact the future roadmap for their AI foundation build, and then for their future investments across team and tools and process. Jack, with that being said, I'd love to jump into the first pillar of team. Spend a couple minutes talking about team, man. So I'm excited to hear about how you've been building the team at FrontRace. Give us a sense for some of the first roles or the early roles that you guys really kind of focused on, or even just spend a couple minutes kind of talking about how you've thought about team construction and team management across your career.
For sure. And I know the 4 pillars that you offer. And I think there's a huge tie between team and process, right? That we haven't historically been very good at. But on the team side, as I mentioned, I've been personally blessed with our core founding group has kind of gone through a couple of ventures together. And as you mentioned to start the show, I can't recommend that more. When you find good people, hard to find them, just like in your personal life. If you have a good mechanic, if you have a good repair, you're like, don't lose that person, right? A good doctor, if you're blessed. Right? It's like, whether you have a home for them or not, when you find good people, make a home and make sure you keep them close, because it's really hard, because it's both skill set, which is super important, but can you work together? And both of them are equally important, but because just because somebody has great skill set, if they have different values or different ways they look at the world, or if they're driven in a certain way that doesn't work, you're constantly butting heads throughout the entire process, right? So
Yep.
finding
Yep.
good people that are highly skilled that you've learned to work with and develop good routine. And I just want to say, it doesn't have to always be synergistic. My co-founder, Jeff Rubenstein, we've been working together for 20 plus years. We're total opposites. We're like the yin and the yang. He's highly technical. I say he's like Spock on Star
Yeah.
Trek.
Nice.
He's super
Nice.
analytical.
Yeah.
I mean, just the smartest guy, literally super smart guy. And I'm more of the sales, people person, process. And so those fit complementary amazingly well. We've developed a good working relationship, and can't really emphasize that enough to make sure that you find really good people that are highly driven that you work well with. And so all three of those are really desirable. And particularly, I would just say, since COVID, this whole old school, we'd all be close, we'd all be in an office, we'd synergistically work, you'd build rapport. And now we all know that a lot of teams have no office. They're scattered. Our team right now at FrontRace is in every time zone. We have somebody in every time zone, and the ability to make sure that they're highly driven and you can trust them, and they do great work product is just more challenging today as we're now dispersed, rarely in the same place at the same time.
Jack, let me ask you something, brother. Like some of the companies earlier in your life and in your career, like E-Ride and Advanced Public Safety, like, were these companies all built on the floor? Meaning, like, not what you just said, where we had this luxury of remote and having people all over. Were those
Oh
companies
yeah,
all built?
listen, everything up till, I'll just be very a confession. Everything up till March 12th, 2020, I was a huge advocate in person. Huge advocate of, like, I had people be like, "Can I not come in? Can I work far away?" And during that time, during those years, we tried. You try to, like, you want to be a flexible, a good employer. You want to, like, make all that happen. But I think, for me, since COVID, we've never gotten back to optimal efficiency. And for me, one big reason, and part of the elements of your four pillars, is in the old days when you were in the office, there's a lot that happens that now doesn't happen. There's informal
Yep.
things,
Yep.
meals and
Yep.
check-ins and checkups and getting to know people and dot, 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 and going through some of those informal things. But then also, if you had a great person, Adrian's great. He's our best person. He's crushing it. Well, hey, new person, go follow Adrian around for a
Yeah. Yeah.
week,
Shadowing. The
and
shadowing
right,
piece.
and just watch what he's doing, and not that you'll be him, but typically, if they spend a week with Adrian and then a week with our number two person and a week with our number three person, they'll pick something of each one of them. That person's already very good if we've hired well, and they start to formulate their own kind of how it works. Now, that's almost impossible. Everybody's in their living room or their home office. You're like, you can't send them over to Adrian's house. Go sit in Adrian's living room, or whatever. And so really a struggle today. And I think companies are really struggling with, if you hire a great person, immediately they're like, what's success look like? What's greatness look like? Companies have a very, 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 very hard time trying to give new people, here's our formula for success. I can tell you that Bob, Chuck, Mike, and Susan are all doing well, but really hard for me to answer why and what. Hey, go listen to their calls and listen to their video conferences. Really hard to piece all that together today. Really hard.
It's a really good point. Jack, I think a big part of the work that we do at CXC with our clients, and to your point, you keep saying, thanks to COVID, it normalized, number one, this notion of having an extended support team, meaning we're also used to seeing each other like this and seeing each other on video and doing video conferences. It became really normal for some of our clients to see the CXC team coming onto weekly calls and helping with, let's say, CRM optimization or utilization training, or whether it's HubSpot or whether it's Intercom or whether it's Salesforce. And, I'm thinking about, as you say this, back in the day, man, we used to have, like, when we were all on the floor, there might have been 1 or 2 days a month where we were able to send some of our sales reps or our support reps or our ops reps literally into like Salesforce training or send us and so we would have times and places for it to happen. But what you just said that makes me think about is now things are different, where, like, yeah, in onboarding, they might cover the 101 of HubSpot or the 101 of Intercom or the 101 of here's the tools you're using. Nobody you miss, or the opportunity is omitted of you being able to actually sit over someone's shoulder, and like doing that remotely is a little bit difficult. And what we've learned at CXC, man, is like having almost like a safe zone, or having a specific weekly session that's literally carved out for a bunch of account executives or customer success managers to know it's a safe spot to go into a 1 hour session and like, dude, why aren't these reports working? What's going on with these fields? How come where do we keep getting these duplicates? Dude, that's almost a different skill set that when you and I used to run teams on the floor. Like it's a different thing. It's part of remote work. It proves that part of remote sales management and remote customer success management has changed.
Yeah.
Meaning,
and
like,
I know, did anyone create training for any of that? We all just went home sometime in Q1 of 2020, Q1, Q2. We're now remote. We now all video conference. We're all in boxes, right? Hey, did we do massive training about how do we make that work? How do we check with our people? Are our goals aligned? Are they on
100%?
On track?
It's a different thing. It's a different art. It's a different skill.
Totally different. And then has anyone stopped and retrained and nope. We're just hiring and firing and figuring out, and we're making mud. In the entrepreneurial world, you're like, you push a boat out in the water. It's only half built. You try not to make sure the boat doesn't sink. And I think that's what a lot of managers have tried to do. And being really, really honest, I'm 56. A lot of the older managers like myself, we saw the world one way. Now it's different. The folks coming up they only know this way. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So they are more predisposed. It's more natural. And so I think it's really a challenge that doesn't get talked about, and folks are really struggling to be elite. We haven't seen corporate production, corporate teams go like it over the last couple of years as we're trying to figure it out, but it's a challenge.
It's definitely, and it's something different. It's something that all of us listeners too, guys. This is why there's so much opportunity right now. Talk about, the opportunity for finding picks and axes and shovels that might be the little fix, or the little willy or where that sets some of these companies apart. That's a big part of it. Jack,
Yep.
I'd love to pick your brain on the second pillar of process. So a couple things. Number one, FrontRace is really kind of built around this idea of understanding how a company has sort of developed or not developed their processes, and then they've spent a ton of time understanding what the data processes look like. Spend a couple minutes kind of talking about that second pillar process. I know for someone like you, we could go on and on, but like, even if it's just some of the basics, or spend a few minutes kind of talking about sort of why the importance of having playbooks or basic SOPs or basic parameters that all companies need to kind of think about to kind of keep their information in line.
Yeah.
And then more importantly, as this stuff grows, man, you said it the other day when me and you were catching up, but like, tribal knowledge, brother, as business grows and as more people come on board and as more stuff gets complex, how do you wrangle tribal knowledge? So spend a couple of minutes talking about process.
Yeah. This is my little soapbox. So if you're going to listen to anything I say, this is
your big soapbox.
Critical.
It's your big soapbox.
This is it. So listen, the numbers last year, if you follow it, U.S. companies spent $650 million plus on AI stuff. A vast majority of that has not been put into production. Over half those pilots didn't finish. Third maybe got implemented. 90% of companies don't have AI corporately across the board. Those are all just McKinsey, ISG stats that are out there. So why is that happening? Ton of money. Why is that happening? This is what's happening. Free. This is all free. Like, listen, here's what's happening. Every company, if you've been around for a while, has a set of, you have your process flow. Hey, here's how we sell client service. Here's how we retain, right? 22 boxes. Hey, we get a lead. We send them an email. We use our PDF. Then we schedule a call, expand a cast of characters, do a demo, frequently asked questions, send pricing. We all know, right? Here's how we sell. There's 22 boxes or 37 or whatever many boxes you have in your process flow diagram, right? Listen, that's not the process. It's not the process. Human beings, if you have boxes, you're a CRO, VP of sales, and you have 22 boxes in your sales process, your elite rep who's maxing it out, and your top 20% of reps, they probably have 97 boxes, right? It's all these things. It's all these micro details that your best sales reps are doing that are not in a box. And oh, by the way, maybe move your boxes around. They start with, sometimes they do pricing earlier. They move things around. It's not that order, and no one knows. Most sales reps, most leaders don't know. I'll give you an example. You have 2 reps. Every company has this. 2 reps, their metrics are basically the same, give or take. one is outselling the other one 3x or 4x, right? One's bringing in $1 million, one's bringing in $4 million, or one's bringing in $500,000, one's bringing in $2.5 million. Inevitably, the CEO, the board says, hey, head of sales, why is that happening? Why is it offset? The head of sales makes up some answer. Well, Susie's just good at sales.
Whoa. Heads of sales don't make up answers, Jack.
Yeah, that's what they do. Come on. I've been there. Look, I had a team of 100.
Just kidding.
I know. Look, Susie's good at sales, has a better pipeline, a better communicator. She's a better closer. Whatever. We make up some answer that's not factually based.
Yep.
Go back to our last question. We started analyzing something. We put this whole tech stack in to be more accurate, to know what's happening. We don't know.
Yep.
So I know most of this time we've been together, I've been poo-pooing on AI. The miracle of AI is we can start to analyze those things that differentiate your C players from your A players. That's what AI can do. We'll delve into that. But that's the miracle of process. What AI, the first step for any company is to track and understand all the steps into a win, all of them. Hey, when your top sales rep sent somebody a text last night because their favorite team won the NBA play-in game, or their college team just won that. Those all count in rapport building relationships,
Good point.
building connection. You have to track all the things that happen, right? Then you could start to analyze and predict and create. How do we replicate with the top 20%? But if we don't know all the process you're doing, then you try to invoke an agent. You go, hey, Mr. AI agent, Mrs. AIJ, replicate what my top sales reps are doing. They do 22 steps. Just replicate that. The reason all the agents are failing, all of last year's money, most of it wasted, because you're not telling them the other 47 steps that are actually happening. So the AI agent can't replicate what they're not told to do. And so please, for the love of God, before you spend money on some AI, analyze all of your process. What is it? What are they actually doing to a micro level? So then you can figure out, can we automate it? Like you said, can I automate the last mile? Probably not. Are there parts of it? You can, but to automate all of it, people are wondering why it's failing. It's because you don't understand the process, all the steps. Then you try to automate it, get rid of your SDR team and just automate it. Well, if you don't tell it all the steps they're doing, it will fail. And people are shocked that why it's failing. It's failing because you don't know the process. A la tie back to FrontRace. One of the first things we'll do is help analyze and tell you what all the steps are.
I love it. Dude, guys, when I got to meet Jack and Jack was bringing us through what him and the team are building with FrontRace, at this very part, Jack, you remember I started laughing, man, because I was like, dude, think about a huge part of what we do at CXChronicles. It's the customer journey mapping or user journey mapping. And guys, we're not talking about this at like a high level, fluffy, like CX, like trade show type of thing. We're talking about granular AF. We're talking about understanding your customer journey intimately from awareness. How does somebody become aware of your brand, to consideration? How do they consider you as a potential option that I might go spend 30 minutes with Jack or 30 minutes with Adrian to maybe learn about their thing, all the way to conversion. Wait, they liked what Jack and Adrian, they liked what FrontRace or CXC maybe could do. So maybe, you know what, maybe there's something here. Now you start to talk about conversion, you talk about selling that, you start to put closing that, then you close them. And now you have to talk about onboarding. Okay, now we closed you, we just promised you the world.
Can I interject one thing?
Please.
Imagine this. How much of sales, those of you who are in sales every day, how much of sales is contact 100 people, 20 you'll get a hold of, 10 are interested, 3 demos?
Yep.
Imagine if we do AI right and analytics right, you don't have to contact 100. You don't have to contact 20. Of 20, 18 are interested.
Yeah,
of
right.
18, you get 15. Like if we just do it right,
Totally.
if we start to take what we know as our ICP and start to take some other market variables, we don't have to reach out to 100 people. The old world of all that stuff will go away. We just have to be diligent. People don't want to take a step back, get your data in order, figure out what your ICP is, figure out how you do business before they want to take this step forward. Everybody would just want to jump off the cliff and be like, let's go put AI in. And you're like,
absolutely.
Oh, okay. You wonder why it's failing because you don't even know how your company operates lovingly. Really, I say that really lovingly. Not that you don't know, but
I know. By the way, I love that you use that phrase as well. I say that all the time. I'll say something really negative and harsh, and then I'll say, "Of course, you all know I meant that lovingly." Of course. But wait, Jeff, one more part before I forget.
If you can answer why your best rep is 2x the rest of your team or 3x, then God bless. Then you're further down the road. Can you really answer? Can you replicate it?
Like as we talk through this, I think that this whole area right here, unmapped, uncharted, uncategorized, just a generally like a misunderstood landscape is
Amen.
why so many of the companies across planet Earth just got into this software predicament we're in right now. Now, if you don't learn from that, and if you're not listening to kind of what Jack and myself are laying out here around understanding the variables, you're going to get yourself in the same problem with AI. Jack, I'd love to real quick before I bounce off this. I know that we've talked about a bunch of different tools, but outside of FrontRace, are there any tools that you guys are leveraging as part of this whole journey?
Yeah, it's fair. This will sound overly, myopic or whatever, but not really. So I would just share this paradigm is that um, I would love you to test FrontRace and try us and go look at frontrace.com and blah, blah, blah. But that, forget that I said that. But our view of the world is if it's a 10-mile long race to win deals or your company, at about mile 9, we want to stop. FrontRace stops at mile 9, right before the end, because the last mile is going to continue to change in the AI world over the next 5 years enormously. The models cannibalize themselves. I don't even want to be out here, and I don't encourage you to stay out here and invest much money out here, because what looks great today, what might be cannibalized in 3 months, and that stinks, right?
Yep.
What we want to encourage people to do is we want to stay one step in from the cutting edge and make sure you have the right data and the right analytics, so that as you test maybe an AI agent for part of your process, maybe you automate some of your marketing outreach, you got to measure it, right? You don't want the measure to be you get fired.
Yeah, right.
People are like,
right.
That didn't work. We didn't make quota. I got fired. No. We don't have to go. It does not have to be done that way. You need to have a right analytics tool, so that, let's say, if you're 9 miles in, right, the last, whatever tool, the cutting edge tool you want to try, you got to measure it. Is it working? Is it improving what we do? You mentioned systems people aren't using. We measure that too. They bought a tool before, and every time they go into that tool, it actually hurts your ability to close deals. Let's get rid of that tool, right? So just make sure you have the right set of analytics and core data before you start to invoke some of the high-end tools. And again, that last mile, it's going to change so fast all the time over the next 4 or 5 years. I don't encourage anybody to spend a ton of money out there, because again, something that looks so sexy and amazing today on mid-April, it may not look so
totally
good
different.
in July. You'd be like,
Completely agree.
We get that free. You know what I mean? So
literally, that's what I was going to say. Is that some of these other tools, leading tools, are moving so fast and adapting so fast, and with the open source and all this stuff, and it literally might be table stakes for things that you need inside of a free package within the next 6 months.
Yep.
I'd love to pick your brain on feedback. So I know this is a big part of what you guys do. A big part of what you're doing with your clients is going in and understanding either what historical or existing feedback is. Let's zoom that camera back a little bit further. The general question I would love to ask is, spend a minute or two talking about things that you've learned around how some of your best clients have really kind of been able to dig in and understand their customer feedback. And then I also want you to save a minute or two of that answer for also, what are the best companies on planet Earth doing on the same guard for understanding employee feedback? So I'd love for you to spend a couple minutes talking about feedback.
That's fair. We don't necessarily play in the employee thing. I'll come to that. I have a personal opinion, but for feedback, one of the things we try to do, you mentioned earlier, people show up, you hired new executives, they come in with their own, this is how we sell, or here's my client retention model, or here's the tools I want to use, right? I just want to say, humbly, we just don't buy into any of that. As we, core team, led a couple successful companies, had thousands of clients that we work with, companies we sold B2B last 2 decades. People show up with their own opinion, and we at FrontRace, we don't care about anyone's opinion. What we track are what happens, and did the company win? Right? There's no other variable that matters. You can do surveys, you can do SurveyMonkey, you can do Net Promoter Score, whatever. Did you win? And did they renew? There it is. The people, money talks, right? And so people come in with a lot of theories, whether you want to do Miller Hyman or Sandler, whatever you want to do. We try to take no matter what systems or what process or what training they have in place. Hey, what your people are doing, did it win? What Bill did that result in wins? Okay, then let's start to microanalyze what Bill did. and we won. And the same as what you mentioned before. What are the things that cause us to lose? Because there normally are constant variables that result in losses. No one specifically screws up their deal. But we had a company that provided text ability in their CRM. Unbelievable stat. When their team sent a 7th text, their loss rate on those deals was like over 90%, right? It's like, as soon as
annoyance. Just annoyance?
Right, because because once they sent a 7th text, they never won any deal. It was fine up front. Maybe that's how you connect.
Just that was it. Meaning the contact was not gonna. Gotcha.
Right, because people were defaulting to not calling, not re-engaging. They were stalking the person. Oh, the demo went well. They must be interested. You're like, no.
Right,
and so a lot of benefit can be had by taking things out of your pipeline. Stop working on stuff. There's a lot of opportunity cost you spend chasing things that are dead. And so really, we focus on the feedback that we always focus on is, did the company buy and did they renew? And so if you focus on those 2 variables, that will lead you to a lot of success, because all the other things, somebody could give you a great net promoter score. Somebody could say you were awesome in SurveyMonkey. And if they didn't buy, and you're like,
doesn't matter.
We loved Adrian. He was great. Loved his customer service. And we went out and bought some other product. You're like,
right.
So we dropped the ball somewhere, because who loves something, thinks it's helpful, and then doesn't buy it? So in the feedback world, that's what we do corporately. I would just say, you mentioned employees. Our company doesn't operate in that paradigm much, but I will just say, going back to team and people, it is the most critical factor. I just say this all the time. It sounds so obvious. It'll go in one ear and out the other for most people. Listen, you want to hire adults and you want to treat them as adults, right? This thing of like, you're going to micromanage people and put in spiffs that make them do certain things and blah, blah, blah. If you just get in your head, hire an adult, quality, I'm going to treat them like an adult. I don't have to track 8 hours a day. I just have to make sure, how do I support their endeavor? Because they might do things different. I've had people show up to our company and do things drastically different and open up all new worlds to us. We didn't have all the answers. You're not hiring somebody to come in most of the time, just repeat what the frick just happened. You're trying to have them push you to new bounds, right? Bring in new ideas, do new things. And so just want to encourage you that when you're thinking about comp plans and managerially and giving people rope and those kind of things, it's like, hey, you hired a great person, you trust them, and then, hey, treat them like an adult, and typically great things come.
I love it. Is there like one, you've given us a bunch of awesome ideas and a bunch of golden like CTAs to bring, cost to action to bring back to the team. But if there was, and I really like your one about don't spend too early and be careful about your investments. That's freaking glaring to me. But outside of that big one, I guess what's like the one, many of our listeners today are other startup founders, startup CEOs, or they're guys and gals that are building tomorrow's companies. Outside of that awesome piece of just like, don't spend too early, because I think that's brilliant, brother. That's literally every one of my sales calls every single day. And it's not just because we're like, we want to work with some of these companies. It's because they're about to screw up. They're about to screw up by not. Yeah. So I love that. But if there's like one big area of education, if you think that like, if you were able to kind of call out from all the things that you've seen, then all these different market trends that you've watched throughout your career, what's like the one area of education that you would push everybody to really kind of just spend a little bit of extra time, or spend maybe a little bit of extra self-motivation time or money on learning about over these next 12 months? Because we know that AI is here. We know that that's going to change a bunch. What would be like one area that you would force, or that you would push all of our listeners to really kind of push themselves to educate themselves on in the next year?
Sure. So I want to say too, to the founders and entrepreneurs out there, God bless, stay strong. It's hard, right? So keep plugging away. If it was easy, anybody would do it.
Anyone would do it.
At night when you're staring at the ceiling, just keep going, right? The best things, it's like brainstorming. When they say in a brainstorming session, the best ideas come at the end. Like, absolutely. If it was easy, everybody would do it. So you just got to, as a founder, entrepreneur, you just got to remember, if it was easy, it wouldn't be, there'd be no money in it, and everybody would be doing it. So God bless to your listeners, and continue. I just want to encourage them and keep doing what you're doing. I would say in today's AI world, it's the noise that's happening. So this is what's happening in my mind. There's all these free things, or this ChatGPT, Claude, $20 a month type solutions out there. So that's a thing. Hey, let me just try it myself. I Claude at night. I'm not
guilty of that.
That's a thing. everybody in the company's like, let's try free first. Every system you've already bought has added AI to their solution. Any tech system, you can't go into any website that doesn't say, we just added an AI module or we just added AI. That's a thing. And then you have all these net new AI only vendors, right? So there's at least 3 categories of things happening. A lot of noise. And the reality is, it's like the internet. We are just in day one. This is all going to look like neophyte type stuff 5 years from now. We think we're like, oh, I'm running late. I'm behind the curve. We're not. We're still in the first, section, the first quarter of what this thing's going to be. No one knows. So if someone shows up to your door and goes, I'm an AI expert, I know. Like, kick them out of your office, hang up the phone, end the video conference. Like, no one knows. We're all trying to make. So my encouragement with all that said is to do things that prepare you for a constantly changing future. That's people want to jump right to let me do AI, but so much of it is figuring out what your processes are. Get your data out of silos, align, get all your data together and standardize it. And then you could start to take little bites of AI. Right? But most people don't want to do that. They're like, I already know my process. And you don't. Most people are like, I don't want to get my data together. I've wanted to do that, by the way, for the last 25 years. Why the heck would I want to start now? I don't want to. That seems to, AI, quick side note, AI makes that a lot easier. So if it was very painful 10 years ago, less painful today, but get your data all together, standardized, and then you can start to look at AI things. But people are just, again, jumping into stuff. I'll just say, this is one real world thing that happens on the free front. God bless. We all, ChatGPT, I have them all on my computer, right? But listen, if you're trying to do any complex query of like, hey, why did my rep with the biggest pipeline or smallest pipeline sell the most last year on what metrics? Anything that has 2 or 3 variables on it, the free solutions are going to stumble. You've all seen it. They hallucinate. They will swear it's right. They'll start to put joins together that aren't real things. And so just want to encourage you that it's not as simple as it looks. Is it simple to create an email, to do some basic analytics? It is.
Sure.
But as soon as you want to start to piece together 2 or 3 variables and do strategic things to help your company get to the next level, it is broken. Please do not believe whatever comes back on your screen. It's not right. 90%, it's not right because it can't connect the data in the right way. And so just encourage you to process data, then AI, and do it iteratively in small little chunks and start to add to it. We're way early. No one's ahead of you. Ignore social media. People are like, we revolutionized our whole team yesterday and we are twice as efficient. We just fired Oracle. It just fired 30 other people and they're struggling. It's a struggle. And so just encourage you. We're in the early days. Be patient. Do the right foundational things. And you'll add accretively as we go along. You're going to add great things to what you're doing.
I love that, Jack. I love that, Jack. There's an awesome quote that encompasses what you just said, man. It's not the strongest of the species that survive, not the most intelligent that survives. It is the one that is the most adaptable to change. And that's by Mr. Charles Darwin. And guys, man, the universe has already shown it out. So if you don't want to follow universal law and all that jazz, the universe has already proven it time and time again. Jack, this has been an absolute pleasure. Before I let you go, brother, number one, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you for coming on the show. I'm excited for having me. For us to keep these conversations going. Before I let you go, where can people that want to learn more about FrontRace, where can they connect with you, sir, or where can they connect with someone on your team to learn more about what y'all are doing at FrontRace?
Sure, I appreciate that. I just want to say first, Adrian's great. CXChronicles is great.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Enough. So yeah, they're amazing. And so from our end, if you're in, you're looking for kind of how to add and get some analytics on your AI, you can go to frontrace.com, join the race, and then fill out your information. One of the things when we built this company, I mentioned it's our same team. I wanted to build a company that was the company I was going to do business with, because people show up to your front door and be like, I have the answer. Give me $100,000. I'll tell you in 6 months. And they never want to take the risk. So we literally will show up. We'll give you the solution. We'll customize it. We'll let you use it for a month. Don't pay us a nickel. So if you think you're not sure what to do, no obligation. It's more than a proof of concept. We'll literally customize it. It will be perfect. You will look so smart. So if you want a free way to look super smart in Q2, go get FrontRace. We'll set it up for you. You're going to get a bunch of learnings about your company. If it's not the greatest thing you've ever had, don't buy it. Just turn it off. Totally cool. So again, platform sits on top. We have, I think it's the analytics that most people are looking for from an AI perspective that's risk adverse, lets you stay with what you have, lever what you have, and start to make you smarter so you can make great decisions over the next 3 to 5 years.
I love it. Jack, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And then we'll be on the lookout for all sorts of great things to come from FrontRace in the near future, man. Thank you so much for joining the CXCP.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. God bless. Stay safe.
Be sure to check out the CXC website. And as always, find us on any of your favorite podcast players, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and more.